All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure that we are working on number 4. I went to the end by accident, sorry. So we're going to solve this by using the quadratic formula, but we're going to keep our answer in simplest radical form. So always the first step is to make sure your quadratic is set equals to 0. So that means we need to move that 2 over. And we're left with 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 0. Next step, label A, B, and C. So our A is the number in front of x squared, which is 3. Our B is the number in front of x, which is 5. And our C is the constant, which is negative 2. All right, next we're going to write out the formula, which I'm not because I don't have enough room. But I will write the skeletal framework. You should have the formula somewhere that you could refer to. It is on the reference sheet, but it's a good thing to get written down. The skeletal framework just means write down x equals negative b. B becomes a parenthesis, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now our next step is just to fill in the appropriate numbers into the appropriate spots. The first letter is b, so I'm going to fill in a 5. B squared, it's 5 squared minus 4a. A is 3. C is negative 2 all over 2a. A is 3. So now those should be the numbers you plugged in. And now our next step would be calculate the 3 spots, which is here, here, and here. So we have x equals negative 5, which is negative 5, plus or minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 2, which is 49 all over 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay? So your last step is to separate and then simplify. Most of you may have noticed 49 is a perfect square. If not, no worries. You're going to plug it into your calculator anyway. So you have x equals negative 5 plus radical 49 over 6, and x equals negative 5 minus radical 49 over 6. So now we're going to simplify it. Now 49, the perfect square that goes into 49 is nothing because 49 is a perfect square. So when you plug square root of 49 in your calculator, you should get 7. So this becomes negative 5 plus 7 over 6. And this becomes x equals negative 5 minus 7, over 6. So when we simplify those and we actually do it in our calculator, negative 5 plus 7 divided by 6 comes out to x equals 1/3. And that's a rational answer. So I was just showing you that actually could have been factored to get your answer. And some of you might have wanted to complete the square. But again, we're trying this method only right now. And then you have negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12 divided by 6, which if you plug in your calculator, you get negative 2. So your two answers here are 1/3 and negative 2, which are rational. And in the past, they weren't rational. They didn't have perfect square answers. So you could solve all quadratics using the quadratic formula or completing the square. However, sometimes factoring could be easier, but not all quadratics can be solved by factoring. So just take that with you. Hopefully some of you are just enjoying this as much as I do. This is probably one of my favorite things to teach. And if you have any other questions, just let me know.